Hi, this is Mr. Mike Kaufman. In this video, I will show you a couple tricks or workarounds on how to utilize the power of digital feedback and digital feedback tools for students who do not have regular access to laptops or other technology. So these tips will be ideal for classrooms that are not one-to-one, but you still want to, again, utilize some of those cool digital tools that, again, just improve learning through better feedback. All right, so the first one is compliments of my colleague Jessica Schuster, who is a 5th grade language arts teacher. And what she's done is she's created a digital rubric using forms, right? And you can see she has the different categories, the different scores of those categories. And what she does is she collects student work that's both typed as well as handwritten in notebooks. She then types in the student email address, fills out the form, and then the students then are emailed the feedback. Now, a cool trick with this is if you just create at the beginning a list of the student names with their email addresses next to it, that way you can just quickly copy and paste it over. So again, this is ideal for students who do have access to email but aren't necessarily typing or creating all their work digitally, and they're still handing in work by hand. Tip number 2 is similar to the tip number 1, but for work that you want to collect digitally. Now, the only difference here is students will fill out the form themselves and then add a file. Now, what's cool about this is they can add all types of files, right? They can add PDFs, image files, movie files, things from their drive, and so forth. And what you can have your students do is if they're still creating work by hand, you can have them take a quality picture and submit the image there. So this would be ideal, again, if you're trying to collect work 100% digitally, but your students still aren't necessarily have to complete the work digitally, right? They can write something or draw something or complete something by hand, take an image, and then submit it. The nice thing about this is you don't have to fill in student email, so it makes your life a little bit easier, and students will still receive the feedback based on the rubric that you created in forms. Now, the last trick is if you are trying to utilize some of the tools with Classroom or Google Docs, but again, students aren't all able to type because they don't have regular access. So what you can do is you can have your students take a picture of their work. This is an example of a student notebook notes that they had taken. And a couple things here that you want to go over to make sure that this works well is, one, have students take quality pictures, right? So show them the importance of cropping as well as having a steady hand. Now this image is taken from an iPhone 5, so it's definitely an older smartphone, and you can still see the quality is still quite good. Another tip is when students, before they submit their work, if they go up to File and Page Setup, and they can then put the margins down to 0, click OK, and then what they can do then is they can make the image bigger, right? So it fills up the whole page, just makes it a little bit easier for you. Now from here, they can submit it, they can share it with you or submit it through Classroom. You can then add in comments, right, through a comment key or written comments. You can utilize the Add-ons Kaizena for voice comments, as well as if they're submitting it through Classroom, you can use Doctopus and Goobric or some of the comment features that Classroom has to offer. So again, this is a more in-depth workaround for students who are creating work by hand, but still have access to the Google Suite for Education as well as Classroom to sort of up and take advantage of those great tools. So there it is. Those are 3 tips to, again, help you utilize all the power of digital feedback, but for students who don't have regular access to laptops or other devices